Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Power Up. I'm Nancy Smirkanich. I got the opportunity to do this last year, which was one of the most nerve-wracking things I've done in a long time. This is easy in comparison. I'm here to introduce Brett Kleger. Try the law, then leave it. I'm glad my daughter, who's been hanging out with me all week, is not here because she just finished law school 2 years ago and has a lot of debt, so I'm not having her listen to you. Brett is the Chief Commercial Officer at DrugDev, but he is a recovering attorney, and we should all support him in that. Father of 2 boys, husband of 1 wife. Glad to hear that. Don't mix those numbers up. You won't be able to go home, and coach of for many youth in sports. And so it's been a pleasure to meet Brett and have some fun.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And by the way, my one fun fact, I don't have 3 because I don't have 3 clean ones for YouTube, but one fun fact is I have eaten a 2-foot live octopus. It is not lunchtime yet. So as being a DIA template, I decided I needed to put the DIA disclaimer in here. So these are my opinions. These aren't the DIA's opinions or all the people associated with the DIA they've ever met. As Nancy mentioned, I am a recovering attorney. This speech is not saying that all lawyers are bad. However, if you are a lawyer in the room and you're offended, that's sort of the point of this. So I'm going to talk today a bit about the career balance. I started my career and thought of 2 different parameters. One, how much money did you make? And like Kieran, I love money. Second is, do you have fun in what you do? So I looked at a few different jobs, and lawyers generally have high earning potential, seem to have some fun. Contrast that with an exterminator. Every exterminator goes around the house whistling all the time, happiest people in the world, not great money potential. And then social workers. I know many social workers, good days, bad days, but there's no money in that. So I of course chose being a trial lawyer. So a few stories, what is a trial lawyer? And what I focused on was insurance defense, which meant I would be hired by the insurance companies to represent people that were being sued. So 3 quick stories. First of all, medical malpractice. I defended lots of doctors, did a lot of OB/GYN work. In one case, a difficult outcome from a childbirth. And of course, it happened in America, so we sue. The second one, you might look at this interesting, a soccer match, or for Patrick and those other non-Americans, a football match. This was a 7-year-old match, and you have to be looking at that and saying, how can you have a lawsuit arising out of a 7-year-old match? What happened is little Jimmy and little Billy, 7-year-old boys, the ball goes in the air, they both go to head the ball, they hit heads. Unfortunately, little Billy turns out with some cognitive deficits. Sad, but a soccer match. So who do they sue? It's America. Well, first they sued little Jimmy, because of course little Jimmy should know not to go to head the ball when another kid's nearby. They have to sue little Jimmy's parents because little Jimmy's parents let him actually play soccer. They then sue little Jimmy's coach because the coach taught him you must go after the ball when the ball's in the air. Okay, didn't stop there. They sued the referee because of course we all know when the ball goes in the air in soccer, the referee must blow the whistle and stop play because kids might bang heads. And last but not least, they had to sue the league. The reason they sued the league, they had to find an insurance policy. They had to find a deep pocket. Okay. The next case of being a trial lawyer was actually one of my favorite cases of all time. It was a slip and fall, typical slip and fall in a supermarket. Again, it was Billy and Jimmy, not because they were 7-year-old boys, but because these 2 individuals had the intellect of a 7-year-old boy. So walking down the cereal aisle right next to Frosted Flakes, Billy starts to slip and fall. Of course, on his way down, he pulls Jimmy by the back of the neck, and they both fall down together, suffering soft tissue injuries. Okay? Another way of saying they had a little backache. Okay? The store manager comes by, looks at, during the course of the case, we find out 2 very interesting facts. First of all, this is the 4th time that Jimmy and Billy were in a store together and amazingly slipped and fell and both fell down together. 4th different time. The second thing is the store manager goes behind the Frosted Flakes. He finds a stick of butter there, wrapped a half stick of butter in a brand that's not even carried by the store. So obviously they come in, they're scam artists. Well, the problem with this, all 3 of these things, the same thing happened. A lawsuit arose, all 3 of these, the same exact result. The insurance company will pay some money because it's less expensive to pay them money than to pay the lawyers money defending it. The result of that, all the Americans in this room your insurance premiums go up or down by 1/1,000,000th of a penny based on whether I did a good or bad job in that case. So at that point, I realized it's really not about the money. It's not about just enjoyment. There's another parameter in finding your career, and that's the societal impact. You know, what I was doing had no impact on anything. So I had to find something, the ideal job for me, that I could have some financial potential, enjoy what I do, but also have some kind of impact on society. That brought me to pharma. So I've been in pharma since 1999. I've been in different companies, Accurian, IMS Health, now with DrugDev, and all along I've been helping these wonderful, abstract, extremely pixelated patients on this screen. But there were all these abstract patients, you know, and I was wondering, I could sleep at night, I was doing something great in society, and then it became personal. So how did it become personal? So first of all, this is a picture of my 3 boys. The one in the middle is Max, my 4-legged friend. This was actually at a dog walk to help support cancer about 3 years ago. At the time, Max was diagnosed with severe liver disease. 11-year-old dog, like anyone would expect, large 11-year-old dog, severe disease, you have to consider all options. For us, there was no other option but to find drugs. And fortunately, 3.5 years later, probably 75 pills later, Max is a 14-and-a-half-year-old happy dog that's the best friend of my kids. But then it became more personal. So this is a picture of my family. Are there any Canadians in the room? Excellent. The Canadians in the room might recognize this is a Terry Fox run. Terry Fox, it's a run that's done every year throughout Canada to support cancer. It was a tradition for my family. Every year we'd drive up to Toronto or fly up to Toronto, do the run together. Last year was the first time we didn't do the run together because about a week before, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. So when she was diagnosed, the last 9 months has been through treatments, various types of treatments, surgeries, on the way to recovery, doing very well. But what's the 54%? Well, the 54% is one of the drugs she's taking was in a trial less than 10 years ago, has increased her survival rate by 54%. And all of a sudden, this abstract notion of patients, this abstract notion that we're helping these patients became very personal to me. So I turned back to the work balance, and I thought as a society, well, this experience has taught me it's not about society, it's about us. You know, all of us are patients. It's about the personal impact that we can make. And all of a sudden, you know, this idea of importance of life, importance of the money, importance of this, finding something that actually means something to all of us. So with that, a couple quick closing comments. First of all, gain balance in whatever you do. You know, find out what's important to you. It might be money, it might be the personal impact, it might be society. Just find that and then find something that you enjoy doing. Secondly, patients are not abstract concepts. We hear all around this conference the last few days, we should have patients up here talking. We should bring patient advocacy groups and lots of great ideas of patients. The reality is every single person here is a patient. Every one of us has a story like this. Everyone knows that they've got a spouse, a parent, a friend, a kid, someone you love, someone who's going through this, and we're all patients. And lastly, just make an impact in anything that you do. Thank you very much.